Today is just a quick tool tip. When we bought our house about 10 years ago, the doors to our dining room had these cheap louvered barroom doors in them. They were one of the first things I took down. The bare wood left in the hinge mortises bugged me, but not enough to bring repairing them to the top of my to-do list until now. So I pulled off the door stops and filled in the mortises with some matching pine salvaged from elsewhere in the house. After planing, flush, and sanding, I stained and varnished them to match the original. One of the door jambs is half varnished and half painted. I protected the varnished side with painter's tape, but I knew that if I just peeled the tape off after painting, it would likely tear out and I'd be doing a lot of touch-up. I thought about scoring the paint with a craft knife, but that struck me as tedious and inaccurate. Some years ago, I bought a few of these marking gauges. I think these were from Rockler. The wheel cutter makes a very clean line on most wood, and it looked like it might be a good way to score the paint. The gauge could ride against the face of the door molding, but that was a bit unstable, making a wobbly line. So I decided to modify the gauge so it would ride on the narrow exposed edge of the jamb itself. So I went to the machine shop. I set the marking gauge body up in the milling vise with the set screwed down. A few passes with an end mill brought the two flanges just short of the diameter of the main body. A quick sanding followed by a buffing wheel knocked off all the sharp edges. Mind you, this is all needlessly precise. You could do the same job with a hacksaw and a file and it would work out just fine. The gauge now rides on the face of the jamb and it's a lot steadier that way. I scored the paint with the marking gauge, peeled the tape off, looks perfect. One other advantage of this modification is that the marking gauge won't roll off your workbench. Thanks for listening.